Me not getting enough sleep, looking hella tired. Me getting too much sleep, same difference, hella tired. Me getting perfectly 8 hours of sleep. Listen, at this point I don't know what will make a difference, because this is just me. This is literally just me. I've had bags under my eyes and I feel constantly tired. No matter what I do, I manage to be hyperactive and tired at the same time. Which is a good combination, because you're so tired but you want to do something, but you're just like mentally screaming at yourself to do something because you're so hyperactive, but you're so tired. It's a weird combination, I'm telling you. Hello BabyQueers and welcome back to my channel. Today it's time for some 2meirl4meirl, which, to be fair, I had to leave out a fair amount of memes that I came across because I chuckled at them, but still, kind of depending on what age group watches my videos, I figured it might not be the best idea. You know, so more PG version than the actual subreddit. Be prepared for that if you go to the subreddit, I guess. But anyways, before we could look through any more memes, y'all gotta get hydrated. So grab some water, or some tea, or whatever else you like to drink, and then we'll check out some more memes. Are you hydrated? Good. Let's go. Whenever I get lonely being single, I open Reddit and read divorce stories, and then go, nah, you know what, I'm good. I say perspective is important. And to be fair, this might not be the healthiest coping mechanism, but if it reminds you of what you don't want in your life, I guess it's working. You know? But that doesn't really fix the underlying issue. You don't have to get married and risk a bad divorce. You can still find other ways to connect with people to feel less lonely, hopefully. So if this is the only coping mechanism you have for being lonely, it's not really a fix. It's more of a short-term patch-up work, really. But still, if it works, it works. At least you can get some sleep so you don't look like all of us from the first meme. Okay, someone commented on a video 9 years ago. I hate the water temple, it's too confusing. Yeah, it's been 9 years. I hope you're doing great in life now. It couldn't be going worse, Keith. Thank you for checking, but I gotta disappoint you if you're rooting for me. I am not doing well. The underwater temple is kind of the least of my issues now. Kinda wish that was my biggest problem again. But thanks for checking, I guess. Is there a follow-up conversation to this happening? Because I feel like that would be, and it'd just kind of be funny if these random people are trying to cheer each other up in the comments, being like, well, listen, it can get better somehow, I guess. It'd be kind of funny. Every documentary about serial killers. He was alone, he had no friends, he had no lover, he spent all of his time alone at home. Me. I promise I'm not gonna go on a murdering spree, but I feel like if I do, no one's gonna be surprised if they look at my life. But there's different kind of loners, you know? They're the loners who are just whatever, struggling with their mental health and just went through some trauma, or just don't know how to connect with people, or maybe just really shy or socially awkward. And then there are the people where their trauma led them to be a very violent and unpleasant person. If that is still you, then yeah, I think you have a reason to be worried. But if it's just because you're awkward and you don't know how to talk to people, then I think you're okay. But still, yeah, looking at your life, no one would be surprised. Okay, what can make you feel better? Me. Hug. Nope, actually, strike that. Huge amount of money. Sometimes a hug does the trick. But let's face it, money doesn't solve every issue. But not having to worry about money solves a lot of issues. A lot of issues. And I live in a country with, healthcare where I don't have to worry to become sick because I might not be able to afford the doctor or medication. You know, I don't really have to worry about that. So still, money would solve a lot of issues for a lot of people. So while hugs are great, again, kind of more of a like temporal fix, right? Because the underlying issue is still going to be there. Whereas with a huge amount of money, you could probably fix a lot of it. Because it's fun to have to worry about healthcare, but worrying and poor mental health is gonna make your physical health worse, and being poor just fucks up your health. So I think a huge amount of money would be the preferable option for a lot of people. Okay, do you want to take the blue pill, ending it all because I have no support system IRL, or the red pill, posting relatable memes on Reddit for my daily fix of validation? Whatever works. Listen, it might be the only thing keeping you going at the moment, but that doesn't mean it has to stay like that. You know, it doesn't mean that that's the only thing that will ever make you feel better in your life. You know, and if that is the thing that is keeping you going in this moment, I'm glad you found something to keep you going in this obviously also couldn't be going worse moment you're having, which might be going on longer than a moment should, really. My daughter had a rough day today. She came downstairs upset, stomped past me, my husband, and her two brothers, and said, "I don't want to be around anyone who talks right now." She then went straight over to snuggle up to our dog. And this is reason number 628 why we have pets. You know, I'd be laughing if you actually like went to this timeline of this person and there were actually like 628 reasons listed. It'd be really funny and really wholesome somehow, but this is just a fair reaction to having a bad day. Like, there are the people when they're like in a bad mood or they're sad, they need someone. They want someone around, maybe not even to talk, but just like to not feel alone. And then there are kind of people like this girl who are just like, no, don't freaking talk to me, don't even look at me. Y'all, even the risk of you being able to talk to me is too much right now. I'm gonna go cuddle the dog. None of y'all better come up to me. And I think that's entirely fair, and I'm probably also more that person. No, actually, I'm definitely more that person. When you find out that your normal daily lifestyle is called quarantine now, apparently. Yeah, I know it wasn't a great time for a lot of people. I wasn't doing too bad, to be honest, because it didn't make that much of a difference to my life. Like, sure, I had to make masks and get masks for like grocery shopping and stuff. Sure. Almost kind of missed the entire thing. You know, if my family hadn't kept me updated and be like, hey, listen, you need masks now. I don't live with them, but they'd like texting me. You know, but apart from that, I didn't really make a difference because you could still like hang out with people one-on-one. It was kind of great because you could work from home more, because my ex-boss where I was working at the time wasn't too fond of home office. He hates it because then he can't call people over to his office, you know, and keep them there for hours with useless meetings. So, you know, it was great to be in home office because then he's just like, oh no, I'm sorry, I'm not there today. I'm so sorry. And then he would either like call you over Teams or just postpone it, and you would just hope he'd forget about it, which worked a lot actually. But yeah, what do you mean quarantine? Like, it still feels different. Like, if you're actually quarantined, like if you're sick and you aren't allowed outside, it's still different than choosing to stay inside and not wanting to go outside. You know, it hits different somehow having to stay in. You know, you would stay in anyways, but it feels weird if you have to. I will say that though. Dolly Parton wrote, "I will always love you" and Jolene on the same day, and I've been preparing to vacuum for 2 weeks. Do you know if she just wrote them to avoid having to vacuum because she's been putting it off for 2 weeks? And I was like, no, listen, as long as I'm songwriting or like producing songs, I don't have to vacuum. You don't know that. Kind of sounds like a stretch, really, but you really, really don't know. And listen, people are different. And I kind of bring this up on this channel a lot because people like pulling some weird homophobic crap or something, and just be like, no, but that's wrong. Kind of expecting everyone to be the same just does not work. But that also applies to what a person can realistically and healthily do. It's just like wildly different from person to person. If you have any kind of health issues, physical or mental, the amount of things you can get done in a day or week or whatever realistically is automatically gonna be lower than for someone who's super healthy. So don't beat yourself up. It's fine. Like, it's not fine if you're just like struggling and feeling like shit, but it's fine that you're not writing 2 songs a day and instead put off vacuuming, because I can tell you I've been there. Often. Did y'all grow up terrified to share your most basic interests, hobbies, and tastes with family and friends out of fear of getting ridiculed and mocked, or are you normal? I will say this, I've had this channel for like a little over 2 years now, and no one in my family knows about it. And like 1 or 2 of my friends don't know about it. Acquaintances don't know about it. No one really knows about it. So I think that tells you who I am in this scenario. Me, mentally preparing myself to leave the house and deal with humans. Literally, I do this. I don't stand there smoking a cigarette at the window because I don't smoke, and no, because then I would already be looking at the humans and it'd probably be worse. But I try to prepare. But then you go out on a Friday afternoon because you have to go grocery shopping because you didn't have time the last couple of days. And you're still not prepared for the amount of weird things these people do. No one knows how to drive anymore as soon as it's Friday, apparently. They can't walk. Listen, it's... I'm not talking from experience here. I was not just grocery shopping like 2 hours ago and was ready to just explode. No, I was very calm and collected, okay? When you can't take any more of today, so you save yourself as a leftover for tomorrow. You forgot to put yourself in the fridge. Because like if you have leftovers containing meat, you put them in the fridge. Come on, what are you doing? It's time for you to look inward and start asking yourself the big questions. Why are you always suspicious when people show you the slightest sign of kindness? Trauma. Because that's literally what, like, if you're someone who hasn't been ridiculed or belittled all their life, you wouldn't. Because it doesn't seem strange to you when someone's like kind to you and like generally kind. But if you've just had so many experiences where people were either just like being kind to then talk about you behind their back, or just not being kind in the first place and just like straight up ridiculed or bullied you. If you have too many experiences like that, then yeah, it might be hard to like know how to deal with it and not think they're just plotting something bad. And even if you logically know, a lot of people aren't. A lot of people either just like don't care about you or just like generally don't care about you in the best way and just like still kind to you even though you're a stranger to them and they're never gonna see you again. It's still kind of hard to know how to deal with it. With the trauma. But that doesn't mean you can't learn, but it's not gonna be easy. But kind of not dealing with why you feel that way in the first place and not asking yourself the big questions is also not really gonna get you anywhere. But it's kind of easier in the short term not to, Like, it's easy in the short term to just, like, push it down and ignore it away, but in the long term, reject modernity, embrace tradition. I don't vape or smoke, but I do drink energies and coffee, so I would have to do both. Embrace tradition. But this coffee just looks sad because it looks like a gas station or something cup of coffee, which is not going to taste good, so that just looks sad. and I drink energy, so I would kind of do both. Listen, however you deal, right, is kind of fine. Like, you kind of gotta question if it's doing more harm than good in the long run. Like, if you drink 5 energies a day or like 2 liters of coffee, maybe not like a healthy amount anymore, but listen, perspective. Like, if drinking 2 liters of coffee a day helps you not off yourself or not do drugs or whatever, then it's a relatively healthy choice. So, but still kind of considering the big picture might be a good idea. Oh wow, I haven't seen you in a while. What have you been up to? Me. Looking like this at work and looking like this at home because it's not been going well. It couldn't be going worse. But thank you for asking. But literally, Who does this? I mean, at work, I get it. And also, like, whenever I see this in movies and, like, these cubicles, they just look so sad. It always just looks sad. But to be fair, we have, like, a big open space office, which is probably worse. And I think cubicles might actually be a good idea because A, it'd be quieter and people can't, talk your ear off all day. But if you also feel like this at home, then you might need some help. In whatever form. Because if this has just been going on for a while and you don't really know how to break that cycle for yourself and you don't see how you're gonna change it, then you might need help. And I'm not saying go see a therapist, because yeah, it might help if you can afford one, or if it's something you think might help you. Sure, if you're like really opposed to therapy, why? But I recognize that it doesn't work for everyone, so if you just know it wouldn't work, or if you've tried to before and know it doesn't work from that experience, friends. If you don't have friends in real life, honestly, online forums or like whatever, online friends are real friends. So, kind of finding someone you can talk about this and connect with about this maybe online would still be a good idea. Desire to write, desire to read, desire to listen to music. No. Inability to get off your phone. Not today. Writing? No. Too much energy. Listening to music? No, but you can't focus. And you're just gonna be annoyed and skip every song because you can't decide what you want to listen to. And reading? No, watch you spacing out within 2 seconds if you even manage to pick up a book. Not today. Not tomorrow. Probably not for like the last 3 months. But maybe one day. But that being said, I haven't read in 1.5 years. Did I manage to read like the entire book and then buy a new book? Because I was like, ooh, this sounds cool. And it's just been sitting on the shelf. Yes, but y'all can prove that. Some people are like, I will stop at nothing. And I'm like, really? I would stop at a lot of things, like, for instance, when it's difficult. I can't take people serious who say they will stop at nothing, because either they're really so unhinged that they would stop at nothing, and usually what that means isn't even like endangering themselves, it's usually caring about other people so little that you're willing to frick them over or exploit other people. That's usually what that ends up meaning, which is a serious thing, but I just think it's really shitty, and I can't figure out if that's what they're meaning when they're saying they will stop at nothing, or if it's literally just kind of what they say, but at the end of the day they really just also stop at the like slightest inconvenience, really. So knowing your limitations is maybe better. Like, I respect you more for saying, I will stop if it's difficult, than if you pretend you will stop at nothing, but then you end up crying if there's like a slight bump. Okay, the worst way for friendships to end is literally nothing to go wrong. You just stop talking. They stop messaging you to see how you're doing, and you get sick of being the first one to initiate conversations, so you just let the friendship go and never hear back from them. that does seem worse. That does seem worse, because it's not even like a big fight that you can like kind of be angry at the other person and kind of have it like justified in your head that you're just too different for the friendship to continue. You just kind of end up feeling like the other person didn't care about you because they never got in contact. And then you just kind of randomly feel sad about it because you just like remember this person every once in a while because you come across something, they're like, oh, so and so would have really liked this. But then you just kind of get like vaguely sad about it because you can't just like text them about it anymore because they're like, oh, right, we don't talk anymore. So yeah, that seems way worse. Who hurt you? Oh, my parents, the economy, rent prices, my unrealistic expectations, the weird thing I said last week, the government. Do you want me to keep going? Because I can, but we're gonna be here a while. like what even is this question of who hurt you? I'm really vaguely impressed, but also really confused by people who are just like genuinely not traumatized. And not the people who are just like oblivious to the fact that they are traumatized and that's why they keep lashing out at people or something. Just like the people who just like genuinely aren't. I am confused and impressed, and it makes it weird to talk to these people because they're like, what? What do you mean? You have a healthy relationship with your parents? Y'all get along really well? You enjoy being around each other? You don't like constantly fight or constantly feel like something's off? Huh? You haven't been bullied in school? Or be constantly like told off by teachers? Or just like had everyone ignore you? What? What makes you happy? Money. Because once again, it might not solve all of your problems, but it does fix a lot of them, and even those it doesn't, it will probably help with. Because if you have like 3 problems you have to actually worry about versus 50, because you got the money to take care of the rest, you don't have to constantly worry about your car making weird noise because you can get it fixed if you need to. You don't have to worry if you're gonna be able to afford groceries, if your dishwasher or like your washing machine breaks. You know, you don't have to worry about paying your electricity or being shut off because you couldn't pay it on time. You don't have to worry about rent. You don't have to worry about anything really because you know that if anything breaks or anything happens, you just kind of have the money to deal with it. It makes dealing with the rest of your problems so much easier than having to deal with all of it, you know? People that were raised by extremely strict parents, how has that affected you as an adult? I'm a certified liar. I don't know how to express my feelings. I hate asking for help. I don't know how to check up on people. I overthink and overanalyze. I'm quick to say never mind or leave it. I like being alone. I can't express affection too much. I'm observant. Like, some of these wouldn't even like be too bad for you as a person. Like, being observant in and of itself as a trait alone wouldn't be too bad, but just as the rest of this, it just ends up you just like not neutrally observing things, you're just overanalyzing and overthinking it at the same time. So that's kind of where it falls apart very quickly. And I can't say too much because it just seems relatable. I like being alone. I'm really good at being alone. It's just easier for me to be alone than have other people around. Actually, would I have always been this way because of my neurotype? Maybe, but we'll never know how much is due to what, really. Depression is crazy because if you don't actively combat it daily, you'll find yourself a week after having the best week of your life laying on the floor for 2 hours wondering why you can't get up. And literally this. Because if you randomly just get sick or something happens, and it doesn't even have to like necessarily be a good thing, because if you have depression, the doing okay and having a good time probably will always kind of be very fragile. And you might not even be aware of what kind of a fragile I'm doing good it really is. Until it breaks again. Because you remembered you haven't brushed your teeth in 2 days because you just forgot about it, and then you're suddenly spiraling again. And it seems so silly, and you're aware that it seems silly, and that's what just makes it worse, because then you're kind of adding shame on top of it, and then you're spiraling even more. Yeah, it's wild. Okay, I did actually include one of these memes, apparently. A trigger warning. I guess, because I don't know if y'all are ready for this. Me in court. Your Honor, I would like to plead guilty as well as request the death penalty. The judge. This is a parking ticket? Again? I mean, at least it's not a temporary fix like just going to sleep or reading divorce stories if you're feeling lonely, but it's definitely also not a good solution. It's a pretty permanent solution, but that doesn't mean you should do it. Like, permanent doesn't always equal better, you know? Okay, boys make 3 friends at 15 and decide that's enough socializing for their whole life. And I don't know what you mean by this, because that just seems fair. Like, literally, if you find your people, and it keeps working, even though you're all, like, changing because you're growing up, but if you're all just, like, still vibing with each other and are good with each other, then why wouldn't that be enough? You know? Excessively daydreaming about a life I'll never have. Me. Again, this doesn't necessarily seem like the worst coping mechanism, but also definitely doesn't seem like the healthiest. But I kind of feel like that, like, it always depends on the extent, right? Because, yeah, sometimes daydreaming allows you to kind of figure out what you want. Maybe you're daydreaming and just like, oh, actually, this seems nice, but it doesn't really feel like I would, like, actually enjoy this, or it wouldn't feel authentic. Then that's also great. But also kind of just recognizing that, okay, I really want this in my life, can actually, like, help you at least visualize what you're trying to get to kind of get you through those days where you just feel like you don't want to do this anymore. Because for a lot of people, the I don't want to be here anymore is really just because the situation itself, it might seem obvious actually, the situation itself is just hopeless, and they have no idea how they're gonna get out of this, and they really just don't want to live like they currently do anymore because everything sucks. So daydreaming might at least give you like a little light of hope to be like, listen, is it realistic that I ever achieve this in my life? Maybe, maybe not, but you won't really know until you try. When you learn your mask is so effective that others can't tell you've been on the brink of a mental breakdown for a month now. This is probably a really, really, really strange feeling. Because somehow most people never know with me how I'm feeling. Like, a lot of people don't know. I feel like if I'm angry, people know easier than if I'm like sad. You know, but I feel like whenever I've been just like feeling sad and hopeless, there was always like that one person somehow that I was close enough with to know. So I really don't know what it feels like if no one knows, if no one can figure out. Like, I kind of still get the you still don't know how to talk about it, because then you would try to like explain what's wrong, but you don't really know what's wrong. You just know that everything feels wrong, and that just kind of makes it difficult. You know, the amount of people telling me someday I'll find someone for me. The amount of people actually wanting to date me. There might be reasons for that. I'm just getting like, what are they called? Like incel vibes. I'm getting incel vibes from these memes. That's kind of the issue. You know, of being like, oh well, no one wants to date me because I'm not a chat. That's the vibes I'm getting. You know, just kind of the self-pity and not being any kind of self-aware. That's what I'm getting. It was probably not a person like that, but I'm sorry, that's all I can think about now. If that is you, all you're just doing is sitting in a basement, moping and playing video games, then yeah, you can't really expect people to like even know you to figure out if they want to be around you, you know? Or if all you do is just bitch online to your other incel bros, then yeah, how are you gonna expect to find someone? You know, like if you're a shitty person, then yeah, but if you're not, if you're just like generally lonely because you don't know how to like, because you're just like shy or just had too many bad experiences that you don't really feel confident going out and meeting new people, then I am so sorry. But that's all I can think about is incels now. Oh my god, have I ever done an incels video? I don't think I did, but I feel like I would lose my mind within the first 5 minutes of that video. Okay, I'm gonna end it here because, like I said, all I can think about is incels now, and that is not a good way. I was just like not mad anymore, and I've made myself mad. Congratulations to me. I'm surprisingly, no, actually very unsurprisingly, very good at making myself mad by remembering all the absolutely unhinged people that there are. Yeah, anyways, I hope you enjoyed my rants, or the memes, or found them relatable. If you want more memes like this, or the darker variety of these memes, then feel free to check out the subreddit. You know, just be prepared that a lot of them are gonna be about offing yourself. You know, just fair warning ahead of time. If that's not for you, maybe check out the normal me IRL. So yeah. That being said, I hope you're hydrated, and I'll be back in a few days with my next video.